guys, it's Hollie here for PlayStation Access. Now, when you come to E3, now and again, games pop up at conferences and you say to yourself, I have to see more of that game. And Unravel was that game. Martin, thank you so much for giving me your time. I want to start by telling us a little bit about your studio, because EA is a very big publisher, but you guys are indie.
Yeah, we're called Coldwood, and we're based in a really small city in northern Sweden. It's called Umeå. It's actually it's like just on the borderline village, I would say. No, it's like 100,000 people or something.
You're gonna be like celebrities after this.
Yeah, it's kind of like a contrast to arrive in big LA. Like there's E3. It's like I haven't seen this many people in quite a while.
Ever.
But we're 14 people in the studio.
Wow.
We've been around for quite a while. We started out in 2003, but we made mostly smaller games, like sports games and stuff like that. So this is kind of like a reboot for us, I guess. It's just more it's a very different game from everything else that we made before.
The premise of the game really struck me. It was really moving and also a little bit emotionally harrowing. The idea that you said the yarn represents love and emotion, and as you're moving, it's becoming unraveled.
Yeah, the further away you get from the things that you love, the more you unravel.
So how does Yarny then cope? Because eventually he's going to run out of yarn. Yeah. So how does the gameplay mechanic allow him to keep moving throughout the world?
Yeah, that's basically you can find more yarn spread out throughout the levels, because you're kind of exploring old memories, and you can find these old pieces of old yarn that you can pick up and sort of add to yourself, so you can just tie more string to yourself, so you can reach further. Yeah. So the goal is basically to try to reach it all the way through the game and just make that line reach, make that yarn reach from the start to the finish of the game. Connecting everything.
So what happens maybe if you go the wrong way? Can Yarny come back on himself and then gather back up the yarn and move a different way?
That's actually really a pretty cool mechanic, that you always leave this trail behind you. So you have this and you can follow that trail back. So you can do things it's like a safety line. Like if you jump off a ledge, you can just grab it in midair and just climb back up on it, or swing on it and things like that. It's quite fun to play with.
So who is Yarny then? How not just in real life, but in the game, how did he come to be? And we know he's obviously moving away from something he loves, but why? Why is he leaving something he loves behind?
Well, I get a lot of the game is quite symbolic, I guess, and I suppose Yarny is kind of like a symbol for someone's longing or for reaching out. Actually, it's kind of like this little helper spirit who's trying to help someone sort out. Basically, find all the missing pieces of their life, tie up all their loose ends, trying to reconnect people who've become separated. So it's kind of like longing, really, and that's what he symbolizes.
So what kind of challenges is Yarny going to face in the game? You said that you have to take a certain path to be able to have the yarn to reach, but there must be other obstacles. We saw a giant hamster or hamster-like gopher creature drop in. Are there going to be enemies, and how does Yarny combat them? He's certainly not going to whip out a gun, is he?
No, I would say he doesn't combat them at all. I guess we're not really trying to tell you the world is all fierce and dangerous and stuff like that. It's more like he's quite small and quite fragile, so things might get dangerous because of that reason. But the goal is never to defeat anything. It's more finding the clever path around it. So the peaceful solution to it. So always try to outsmart the dangerous things.
In the trailer we saw at the EA conference, was that music that was playing? Is that from within the game?
That is actually a track that Sigur Rós made for us, or not entirely for us, but partly for us. But it is a bit starstruck. It's cool, but we have really great music in the game as well. It's some local composers that did these awesome tracks, and we were inspired by old folk music and stuff. But it's quite cool.
We'll get a chance to hear any of these, because some of my favorite music is from smaller publishers. The beautiful Thomas Was Alone soundtrack and Transistor's soundtrack and Hohokam. And
we do. The thing is that we do our storytelling all without words and all without cutscenes and things like that. It's mostly through the environment and through the character, and of course, obviously through the music. So that's one of the biggest, best ways we have to just reach people and get them in the right mindset.
Martin, thank you so much for your time. I'm still completely emotionally head over heels for this game. I think it looks incredible. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to you guys in the studio in the future as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kind words.
You guys can stay tuned to the YouTube channel, because there's going to be loads more from E3 coming up.